Hooniverse podcast 375. Jonny Lieberman. Johnny, welcome back. It's August 8th. It's Friday. It's 1:45 Eastern time, and I want to bring up with you what I think is something kind of interesting in today's auto news, which is the hurricane-powered Charger. Is there any sadder picture of a quote-unquote performance vehicle ever than what this prospective Charger looks like?
Yeah, it looks like it's on like 17-inch wheels, and obviously, like, we don't care about our life. Silver is never a good choice. I mean, like, it was no big secret. Like, I think I broke the news that the Charger was actually getting. I was told it could actually still fit a V8, but we also said like it'll probably get a 6-cylinder. Quite a while ago. In fact, it was such breaking news. You know when you get a story right if you break news when Dodge calls your bosses and says like, they start freaking out about it. If they ignore it, then it's just wrong. But if they get upset, then they're demanding to know who told me, which they're never going to know.
Well, Dodge has there's two extremes for Dodge. There's no action and all of the action, and if you've spurred all of the action, then you've unearthed something.
Yeah. I mean, no big surprise to me. Look, in the U.S., EVs are struggling for a lot of reasons. And Dodge is a strange brand to electrify, especially a big muscle car thing. And the other thing was, like, I didn't go on the launch, but I heard from a lot of people on the launch that the PRs were like, oh, yeah, we know this one's no good, but just wait, there's a gas one coming, which is a crazy way to launch a car. And that was mentioned in like several reviews. It was like, well, they said even if you don't like it, just wait for the gas one, which is like, boy. And like, I haven't driven it, and I hate commenting on cars I haven't driven, but I spoke with people that drove it that are journalists that I respect, and they were just like, yeah, they didn't make a very good EV. There are things that make EVs good and things that make EVs bad, and they just didn't do a great job with it. And I've seen I think 0 on the road, and it's been out for
I've never seen one.
9 months. Yeah, I live in EV capital of the world. The amount of I dropped my kid off at summer camp this morning. I saw, including the Rivian I drove, 4 Rivians were at this one summer camp, 2 Kia EV9s, that new Hyundai Ioniq 9, I think it's called.
Oh, you saw one? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's got dealer plates on.
Well, you're EV capital. You should see
EV capital, man. Yeah. And that's not even counting. I don't even I've stopped noticing Tesla Model Ys because there's so many of them, and that's not and there's just tons of EVs iXs. So people are buying EVs, out here at least, and I've seen none of these. I've seen more Nissan Z Nismos, which is one.
I was just going to say, I have seen 2 Nissan Zs, the modern.
I've seen a few Zs, but no. I saw one Nismo.
I've seen 0 Nismos. Yeah. I've seen 2 of the non-Nismos, and
so I think it speaks to a couple things. One is that the people that are into Chargers aren't into EVs. 2, no one's really into big 2-doors. Just
not anymore. Not here. Well, the general public, there's obviously the Wraith and the Continental GT market. That's like
1% of the 1%, but
that's not people for.
When you talk to people, you'll hear, "I need an SUV." Oh, you're going off-roading? Well, no, but what if it rains? What if you're on all-season tires? You're hosed. The car buying public, they're just they're not. Looking for 2-doors, they're not looking for sporty EVs. The 6-cylinder here makes sense. That said, even if it makes over 500 horsepower, there's a large segment of the Charger demographic that gotta have a V8. You know, even
Dude,
it makes
there's
more power.
money
Matter.
on the
I care
hood.
about power. I care about cylinders. Why?
You want to buy a Ram RHO? There's money on the hood because it isn't a V8 TRX.
Yeah.
You know,
But again, like remember the Challenger Scat Pack or whatever. You know, the 392 made 485 horsepower. This makes 525.
it's also a lot heavier.
Power. It's
like
more power, you know.
Yeah,
So,
numbers sell. That's really where it is. I don't think any individual vehicle has been as mechanically and like lineagely politicized or politically affected in recent memory as the Charger, because it went from it has to be an EV to it will absolutely not succeed as an EV. We need it to have combustion, and it's just been this like huge, they don't know what to do with it, juggling kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a strange time period. I think it says more about Stellantis than it does about the actual car. And again, I just haven't driven one. I should get a hold of one and drive it. I'd be curious, you know. But yeah, it's everything's politicized, and you know, Dodge had this whole like, you know, American flag as their campaign mantra, you know, and then that weirdly has connotations now. It's not just like all Americans. It means something more than that, sadly.
Do you remember the Challenger ad with like, it was like George Washington?
Yeah, it's George Washington battling the Brits. And
it's crazy. In 2025, thinking about that, it's crazy to imagine.
It was a fun ad, but again, that you know, you're saying something about your brand when you do that. And you know, and then you get into the fallacy of like, oh, it's more American than this. You know, it's like one of those things. Like Stellantis is owned, you know, it was owned by Fiat, an Italian company, and then you know, it was owned, now it's a French company.
Right.
You know, so you know, it's like well, Rivian and Tesla and Lucid, those are American car companies. Those are everything they make. Tesla, you can argue the Chinese stuff's made in China, but you know, every Rivian and Lucid's made in America. Like that, you know, no factories in Mexico or Canada, Stellantis or France or Italy. So I don't know. It's a strange time. You know, politically, it's a strange time. You know, our country's in a weird place, and
high level. That's, you can just put that out there. As high level, it's a weird time.
Yeah, it's a weird.
Everything
time.
Automotive, whether it's cars that you're talking about now that won't be here for a few years because tooling and parts and all that stuff, the companies are planning for years ahead of time. Or, you know, so we're talking about stuff, it's 2025. You could be talking about 2028, 2029 production model cars, but at the same time you're talking about, you know, what's happening in California with, like, you know, legality of historical vehicles and what emissions need to or don't need to be. So
yeah, if California even gets to retain that right. I mean, the friggin' EPA came out and said that carbon dioxide is a positive for the planet. You know, it's kind of all over for the next little while here, at least. So yeah, it's a weird time. It's just a weird time to be living in.
Goddamn.
You're going to get weird cars and weird decisions and weird stuff as a result, you know. And again, like, you know, it's like, okay, you know, we're Dodge, we're the power brand. It's like, oh, here's an EV that makes a lot of power. Hate it. Oh, here's a 6-cylinder that makes a lot of power. Also hate it. Yep. You know, it's like we're orthodox. We need to have V8 for some reason. We can't.
Yeah.
We can't deviate from the cylinder count. Like, okay, so you just want noise and waste? That's what, whatever. You know, so I don't know. It's a very strange time.
Yeah, you can't quantify experience, but you can put put perspectives in writing and turn that into marketing.
Yeah, again, it's the moving of the goalposts. Like, again, it was like people that are into the V8 stuff. Let's, for lack of a better term, they're all about drag racing. Well, EVs came along. Hey, these are better at drag racing. Oh, we hate them. Mm-hmm. I thought you liked drag racing. Right. No. We like loud drag racing. It's like, what? And again,
you like drag racing and speed if.
I always point this out to people too. It's like, with internal combustion, it's fun and all, but 20% of the gas burn goes towards forward momentum. 80% is turned into heat and sound. Super wasteful.
Oh yes, Harley Davidson has made a decade's worth of sales based on that. So let's zoom out a little bit. First of all, thank you for joining us in our new Hooniverse podcast era. This is a new direction that we're going, and podcasting has taken a very strange turn over the last stretch. But it has, because there was the absolute bombardment of anybody who has any perspective has a podcast, and then it kind of evolved as a curated media, in the same way that you watch Netflix and there's ads on Netflix, but if you pay a step up and then it doesn't, and people have come to the surface that are really on the forefront of things, and I am the first person to acknowledge that Chris and I had an amazing show, and we're just floating above breathing level, and then there's guys like you and the SCR crew and Farah and everybody that have really have driven and pointed the whole automotive podcasting world towards what it has become, and here we are. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah.
And that said, you have decided.
I always say I was literally at the table the moment that Jeff and Tim decided to do Hooniverse. I was egging them on. So
yeah, that's we were talking about that, the Hoons of us recently, and talking about that, and then talking about Jeff recording TST centric stuff, because that's where he could record, is right. It's the genesis of how all of us have gotten here, and it is inadvertently made automotive media what it is,
right.
And that's inadvertently how you've created a YouTube channel. You went from one of the Motor Trend stalwarts to not.
Yeah, it's. I launched a new channel, Driving with Johnny, and it's one of those things. I don't know why I waited so long. I'm glad I did though, because I found this guy Rylik Alexander that I make the videos with. It was just great, and I couldn't do it without him. So, that worked out well. I should have done it years ago, honestly. And I just sort of I was pretty comfortable at Motor Trend for a long time, and I had this really great contract that kind of, predated Discovery in a way. And it's
you were one of the few through lines, through all the shit that Motor Trend has kind of seen.
Yeah, yeah. I've been there, 15 years. I'm still there in some capacity. It's much smaller than it used to be. But about a year and a half ago or so, they just said, hey, you're freelance now. And I was just sort of in shock for a year, not really understanding what that meant. I don't know. Yeah, it was just a weird year. And then I finally was like, you got to do something, dude. And because freelance, I'm doing it, but it's just it sucks. So yeah, I have my own thing, my own channel. Everyone tells me it's going really well. We're over 8,000 subscribers. It's been 2 months, which apparently is very good. I don't
say that's good. Yep.
Yeah, making some money, which is crazy already, but we've made some money.
If you make any money on a YouTube channel, you have already beaten the odds.
Yeah, and it's we're it's okay. It's we're I believe actually at the point where we're taking in more than we're spending, which is that's good too. So there's a little tiny bit of profit, and it's been fun, you know. And like, like today we were supposed to go up yesterday, but we screwed up. But we got the Z Nismo review went live, and yeah, it's fun. I mean, it, as an old man at this point, old automotive journalist, it's just like I have all these stories that I've told like on podcasts and anecdotally for years, but it's nice to like tell the stories in a car. And you know,
monetize everything that you've helped others monetize.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing is like I've worked for others for a long time, and it's kind of I guess nice to be working for myself. You know, long way to go. And somebody told me like, hey, don't even think about your channel. Don't come to any conclusions about your channel until you've uploaded 100 videos. When you've done 100 videos. Yeah, and then you'll know what you have something. So it's like basically 2 years at the rate we're going. So okay, that's fine.
The inside baseball of YouTube and automotive is like 100 videos to somebody who's never touched this stuff seems like it's like monumental, you know, atmospheric launch. But 100 videos is, if you do clips and shorts and all that stuff.
Oh, no, I don't think it's counting that. I think it's like 100 actual videos. But
okay.
But, you know, I mean, I've done over, I think I counted one time, this is years ago, I've done like over 700 videos on Motor Trend. So I'm probably close to 1,000 videos on Motor Trend. So, yeah, 200 or 100, big deal.
Mm-hmm. You ever count how many things you've written for an outlet?
No, I used to write a lot more. I don't write that much now. So, you know, I'm sure it's like 15 years at Motor Trend. It's probably, I don't know if I write 100 things a year. I don't know, 50. It's probably
that's
over
a shit ton. By normal people's standards, that's a shit ton. I mean, I sat down to record with Jeff the other day and was like, oh my God, I've been doing this for 10 years just for Hooniverse. Like, it's crazy how people become figments of the culture. Okay.
Crazy.
You've driven some crazy stuff, and I want to start with the M5 Touring because there has been an enormous divide. I don't think there's been anything as divisive as the M5 because you and Spike had completely conflicting ideas of things, and then Jeff and Camille on our side talks have also had.
Who was on your side? Who was pro M5 Touring?
Camille loved it, absolutely loved it. And
what color was Camille's?
I think it was white because I asked him if it's the same one that I'm getting in a few weeks.
Okay. So I can. What color was Jeff's?
Great question. That's a better question for Jeff because Camille lives in Boston. You and Camille aren't getting the same car.
So, well, sometimes you do. But I have a theory about this because somebody was telling me I really don't pay attention to what anyone else does. Maybe it's a bad thing, but Spike mentioned he's like Camisa hated it, but then somebody told me that Chris Harris loved it. And
I literally just listened to that episode of you and Spike going at it, and like him saying Jason loved it, and like Jason hated it.
Yeah. My theory is, and I was talking with Jethro Bovington about this, I think there's a lot of variance with the M5 Tourings. I think it's really, varies from car to car. Might be one explanation. It also might be one of those things that a lot of people never really spend enough time figuring out how BMWs work. But what I mean by that is you have the M1 and the M2 button, and just take a moment and drive around and set the thing up. And then when you hop in it, click, and you're in M1. And you have it set the way you want. Yep. I kind of know how Spike drives. I think he just got in there and left everything in like comfort, and then like didn't think much of it. And like, if you leave it in comfort and don't push it, it's a pretty car. If you bother to put everything into like, I do M1 kind of like the mid setting, so everything's sport, and then I do M2 as like sport plus with traction control off, and like, I did have a hard time believing any professional car reviewer could put that thing in Sport Plus with everything off and really go for a drive and not come away liking it.
Yeah.
It's rad. It's a good vehicle. And I will also temper that by saying, with Spike, what I was trying to argue was that the RS6 is not as good to drive.
Yeah.
You know, it's just worse. And again, I drove both on the same day, same conditions, and like, boy, the BMW was way better.
And it sounds like a lot of that is really circumstantial and like vehicle to vehicle, setup to setup. And for those listening that don't know how it works, modern performance cars with adaptive or magnetic or any kind of, settable, suspension or engine or brakes or suspension, you can tailor it to how you like the car to be. So in the case of, let's say, a BMW, there's engine responsiveness, there's brake responsiveness, suspension responsiveness, and steering and
transmission shift,
and you can like toggle all of them. And if you set one of the M settings,
levels of traction control, and so it's very customizable and tailored, but you got to actually do it. If you just hop in the car and leave it in comfort mode, or even if I don't even know if there's a sport or a sport plus mode, but
there's a sport button on the. So I actually was delivered the X5 with the off-road package, with the $10,000 silver anniversary or whatever it is, off-road package thing. But yeah, the way that I set everything, because I live in Connecticut, is like highest performance for engine, transmission, and steering, and then like medium brakes and comfort suspension. And the way that is set, if you did that if you had two M5s set up exactly the opposite based on just the way you tell the computer to exist and what the output is, they would be completely different driving experiences. And I think what you're getting out of the M5 Touring, what other people who never touch that stuff out of the M5 Touring, are probably like literally different ways to experience and feel the car.
Yeah, it could be. And again, I'm convinced that there's just variants. There's some good ones and some bad ones. That's the way I'm explaining it, because I know Spike drove a different car than I drove, and I had a colleague along with me when we did the test, and even he at the end of it, not even the end of it, on day 2, he's like, man, that BMW is really good, isn't it? I'm like, yeah, it's really good. So I don't understand. Like, I understand, again, philosophically, if people are just like, they can't get over the fact that it weighs 5,446 pounds.
It weighs more than my Lexus.
Yeah, it's heavy. It weighs the same as a what was that thing? The Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, whatever it's called.
Yes, which
but it also makes 10 more horsepower. So it's like,
the Trackhawk is so good. Like, it's something I will die on.
Whoa, hang on. How can the Trackhawk be good and something that weighs exactly the same that makes a little bit more power? Why can't that be good? And 100 more pound-feet of torque. So again, it's one of those things. It's like, I think a lot of people just get hung up on the numbers and their own orthodoxy of what cars have to be, and are not really experiencing the car. So
everything is relative, and what people don't do is come into an automotive experience with like their frame of reference or their expectations in reality, like
but again, I'm just a big believer in like driving the car and what does it feel like. It's like, it's really quick. It corners really well. The brakes are very good. Like, okay, and then but then say, well, it's too heavy because it's like when I had the SL, not the SL, the AMG GT63, the coupe, the new one, and everyone's like, well, it's too heavy, right? And I'm like, yeah, every 911 I passed, I was like, I'm too heavy.
Right.
I'm heavier than you.
I'm having so much less fun than you. No.
If you're racing, weight becomes very, very important. But for like driving around and having fun in the canyons, like
the 1% of people that do that with those vehicles. That said, I had the last gen M5 comp for a trip to my cousin's wedding, and it was like
brutal ride quality in that car.
It wasn't a CS, it was a comp, and it was...
No, the comp is the brutal one.
Yeah,
CS
it was 20% too stiff for like the Merritt Parkway. And I got a flat tire in it coming home at like 10 o'clock, which was awesome, and not a sprint against time or anything, but
that's a
god damn was that a great thing to drive.
Yeah, that's a funny car because I actually drove that in Connecticut and New York, but it's just too stiff for the street, but
Probably
it pays dividends on the track. Nobody tracks an M5 comp, so, but
no,
it was a very, 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 very well sorted track car.
People who care about tracking and own an M5 comp also have like an E36 caged track abomination. Okay.
Yeah.
We are on the clock, and I just want to do a watch assessment. I did this with Jeff on the... Wow, what's on your wrist right now? Because I did it with Jeff, and we had some crazy deep conversations. It's hard to make that out. I can't.
It's a Sheffield.
It's a okay.
But it's this. It's a Sheffield.
Oh, that's not the 24-hour. That's the.
Nope. It's just a new watch they have. I can't remember the name. Maybe it says.
It's very. It's
called the All Sport Rally. And,
that is right. It's very like retro vintage, like space race looking.
Yeah.
Which is.
And I put it on this new under the cuff. NATO strap that I got, and I think it works.
Do the NATO straps bother you? I've had a couple of NATO straps, and they make watches feel like they're 30% too thick.
No, they don't bother me.
You don't get that?
I have abnormally thick wrists, so I like a big thick watch. It doesn't bother me.
That's fair enough.
And I've also got some other watches here. It's another Sheffield.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was going to wear my SCR QL1, but I figured that would be a little cliche.
Yeah, well, this is another Sheffield. This is like a GMT kind of driving watch thing, and then it's on this cool another under the cuff official strap, but it's like it's a rubber strap with this cool deployment, so it like snaps together like that.
Yeah, that's a weird and different kind of. That's not a. It's almost like a bracelet latch.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Rubber.
Yeah, it is, but it's great, very comfortable, and you literally get a pair of scissors and cut it down to size, and that's a good one. And then I also got some new straps in this morning. I was putting them on before you called. This is super cool. I'm so into this watch. This is a Seiko 5-Actis. So Seiko 5-Actis, and it's like from the late 60s. I think it's like 68 or 69. So it's like just before the Pogues came out. It's got the weird pillowcase, which I love.
Yep.
And it's a real squared off pillowcase with this, obviously round dial, but and like the Pogue, you can see the crown is sort of inserted into the case there, so it doesn't have a crown guard per se, but it tucks in. And
that's very cool.
I just love this thing. I was actually in Tokyo hunting for stuff like this. Didn't find it, but I needed parts for an old turtle that I have, and the company sent me the parts plus like a matchbook of a 5-Actis, and I was like, "Whoa,
nice, nice!"
I started looking them up.
A Seiko turtle?
Yeah. I have a bunch of turtles.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
I'm a turtle collector. I probably have 6 at the moment.
Okay.
I really dig those, but I think I'm now more of a 5-Actis guy, or Actis 5.
Yeah. See, so I'm looking.
5-Actis. Yeah, it's called 5-Actis.
I'm looking for a nicer watch than I usually wear to kind of wear for everything, and it's every angle points at Seiko 5. I'm like.
I'm telling you, man, Seiko 5-Actis. Look at this. Vintage watch.
That is pretty cool. All right, so
come on, talk about a conversation piece.
This is actually the first time. This is my long since deceased grandfather's Luminox. His
wow, that's cool.
His Navy SEAL Luminox, and
that's cool.
And it's really like small, like it's like a 38 or a 37 millimeter case, and it's got, I don't know if something's wrong with it, which it's probably 30 or 40 years old, and something very well may be wrong with it, but it has like a 5-second jump, and I don't know if that's a Luminox thing.
It's like a jumping second hand?
Yeah. And people who are listening to this podcast, not watching, are going to love it, but the second hand does like a 5-second jump. And
yeah, that looks...
It looks like something is probably wrong. And
that looks like you need to get it oiled.
I put a battery in it within the last like year, and that's, I think, the first time that it's actually been working.
Yeah, I would say that needs to be serviced.
Chris and Johnny, you were on the show, but Chris and I used to have jokes about like who was president when this car came out or something, and I think
what year did that come out?
I think the first Bush was in office when this watch was last functional, so it probably needs a service or two. And also the lume part of the Luminox is completely not functional, but you
can get watches relumed. You can do anything to them. So you should. Yeah, if it's your grandfather's, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay. Let's delve into a couple other things that I want to talk about before I will let you go. And also, is that a ZZYYZX? Is that a Rush thing or the road thing?
Zizix is a town.
Oh, it's a town.
And there's an exit off the 10 freeway. But yeah, this guy, I forget his name, but he started like a health spa out in the desert. It was real popular, desert hot springs, mineral water, blah, blah. And for some reason, he wanted to be very last in the phone book. So he came up with the word Zizix, which obviously would be the very last word in the phone book. And then my wife got me this hat. And it's a cool hat. It's called a pocket hat. I've never seen this, but like...
What is that?
You can like shove $20 bills in here. Let me see. Take this off.
That sounds like you're going for a surf and need a way to buy a beer.
Maybe, yeah, but like, see, there's a little pocket. I'm sticking my laptop.
Okay.
I'm going to shove a 20 in there, I think.
Pocket hat. Yeah, that's a new one.
Yeah.
I do know Corey Taylor of Slipknot has a song about that road, which is, I guess, now because it is the last road in the phone book or the road book.
Yeah, which is so sad because like nobody knows what a phone book is anymore. But yeah, Zizix Road. But it's an old abandoned hot spring house spa type thing.
Okay. Fair enough.
Town's wrong.
There we go. Okay. Bugatti Mistral or Diablo GT? Which do you want to do? Or do you want to do both?
Yeah, Mistral, man. Bugatti, what a thing. That is, I've been describing it as the final boss. And yeah, I'm fortunate. I've driven many W16 powered Bugattis, and this is the one. I kind of... I used to say that the Veyron Vitesse, Grand Sport Vitesse, was the one. So notice the pattern. I like W16s with no roofs, or the roof comes off. And
goddamn,
the Mistral has no roof. I got to go to the Bugatti factory, which was really cool. That might be the one I drove. Very similar.
It's always fun when you see a picture of a car in like media and stuff, and you're like, "Oh, that's."
I think the one I
drove that, or that's in my driveway.
Yeah, I think the one I drove had copper wheels, but it was exposed blue carbon fiber bodywork. I drove around with Andy Wallace, which was a real treat, and aside from being a 24-hour Le Mans winner, in the Silk Cut Jag, he drove this Mistral here 282 miles an hour, and so he went 282 miles an hour with no roof.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy. I've gone 245, which was like, that was fast.
What's the fastest you've gone with no roof?
168 maybe. I'm trying to think. With the roof off.
That's fast. With no roof.
I was in the back seat, but yeah, that was pretty fast.
With you in the back seat? What?
Yeah, Boston was driving. Anyhow, long story.
That tracks. That tracks.
Yeah. Yeah, Mistral, absolutely, like, man, if I had a lot of money, I would buy one. They're just terrific. And it's just, look, it's everything Bugatti's figured out after 20 years of making the W16 and that chassis, and they just made it better.
It's been 20 years, holy shit.
Yeah,
God
2025. And I mean, the Mistral, like it came out in 24 or whatever. They showed it in 22. Time flies. I thought it was last year they showed it. But anyways, yeah, they're building 99 of them. They're almost done. And just special, wonderful car. Loved it.
So I will poke the bear here and say, this being like the end game, the end all be all, it feels like we've said that a lot recently with Chiron and then Pure Sport and everything from there on. How do you know or have any indication that this is actually like where it ends, because somebody
actually yesterday I was saying that it would have been nice when I was at the factory 2 weeks ago. They could have given me a hint, but they dropped that new program Solitaire.
Oh, I saw that.
Roulade, which means fog apparently, which is basically a Mistral with a roof. But yeah, it's a one of one. So they have this new program where for $20 million,
the green on green. Yeah.
They'll build you whatever you want for $20 million, and so there's one more, and they in their kind of typical Bugatti press release, they say at the bottom that the one-offs, the solitaire cars will always be built on the current technology. They're going to do 2 a year. So the Tourbillon, which is the V16 replacement, half EV replacement of the
watch named
named after a watch.
It will be as complicated as the complication.
Yeah, the Rimac car. But so that, they're actually building a new factory next to the factory at Bugatti, and I think the old factory becomes the place where they do like more one-off stuff, and the new factories where they pump out the tourbillons. That's under construction, so that factory's not even built. So if they're going to do 2 a year, I think there'll be one more solitaire, maybe 2 more solitaires that are built on the W16. And so they're still building the rest of the Mistrals. They're still building the Bolides, and so they got to build 40 Bolides, and they got to build 99 Mistrals. And I was in there 2 weeks ago, and they had I couldn't take pictures, so they had about 12 Mistrals under construction and about 4 Bolide under construction. So, they'll still be using that factory for a while. But I would guess there'll be 2 more solitaire W16 cars, and then the next solitaire car will be the V16.
Do you ever find yourself in the presence of these cars and these companies and these facilities thinking, how is there this much wealth in the world that's going
I know why.
exclusively to cars?
In America, and we stopped taxing the rich in 1981. So if you don't tax people with enormous wealth, they hoard it, inadvertently.
Find a way for it to be a write-off.
Yeah, they can buy a $6 million car, and again, it's not like they buy one; it's a stretch. They buy several,
Yeah.
So the average Bugatti owner, I forget the number, but like 10 years ago, it was like the average Bugatti owner owned 72 cars and 2 airplanes.
The Veyron owner had like 3 helicopters and 100 cars or something like that. Yeah,
no, I don't wonder about that at all. I never thought about it for a second. And I'm not around the owners all that often. I'm around the working slubs, the PR people, and poor Andy Wallace, who's got to sit next to me while I'm in a 1,600 horsepower car.
Dude, I just had the Range Rover Sport SVR, the Edition 2 or whatever it's called, and it was like $205,000, and I'm looking at it going, there is a prospective buying public for this thing, not just like the Mistral or something in that capacity where there's a couple people there expecting to purchase it. There's a sliver that is actually like multiple people buying this without thinking twice, and it's crazy just to be.
I mean, cars have gotten expensive, but like, I mean, you know, $205,000 ain't what it used to be. $6 million is still a lot for a car.
$6 million. Yeah,
205 is not. And remember, that's the Range Rover Sport you said, so the Range Rover. You know, but they study that. They sell it for what they know they can sell it for, and they sell every one. Actually, I don't know about the Sport, but the Range Rovers, they sell every one.
Yes, they do, and it is a wild thing to behold and to be like a degree of separation from the Diablo GT. I don't know have you spoken about that on any platform yet, or is this?
No, I just drove it. Today's Friday. I drove it on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So Diablo GT, they built 80 of them. It's very, very rare Diablo.
More than I expected, actually.
Yeah, 80. Never imported to the U.S. A few were gray marketed in, including this one. This is the only one, and it's kind of this blurple color. It's called like blue sucre or something. Mm-hmm. It's purpley blue. It's the only one that left the factory in that color. And I'm no expert, and there was probably a registry somewhere, but I believe they were all orange, yellow, black, or dark gray, all the GTs. There was one that was like a French blue that went to Tokyo, and then there was this one, which I'm not sure where it went at first, but it came to the U.S.
Of all the colors, Blurple is the color to have.
Blurple's a great color, and it's got a cool interior. It's got like comfort seats plus like red and blue leather. Very cool car.
Yep.
And just a crazy thing. So it's it was the first 6-liter Diablo. It was pre-refresh. So kind of, if you think about how Lamborghini does it, like, you know, they'll release like a special car just before the refresh. Mm-hmm. So this was like 98, just before Audi bought them. Audi, I think, bought them in 99. And so they, you know, the became the VT, or it's called the 6-liter, but the engine got punched out from 5.7 to 6 for this, for the GT. They removed the all-wheel drive system, so it's rear drive only, and then just tons of carbon fiber.
Yeah. How much does it weigh?
Nothing. It's all carbon fiber. I don't know exactly what it weighs, but
should we take bets? It's I'm going to say 33.90.
You'll never find. No one's ever weighed one, so you'll find like the dry weight or the Italian weight, which is bullshit. But
1,460 kilograms.
How much?
1,460 kilograms.
So 3,400 pounds, something like that, 3,500.
Yeah, 3218. What did I say?
Okay.
Say 32.
Yeah, okay. Maybe. Who knows? But it's a lot of carbon fiber.
Which in that year was crazy to have that much carbon fiber. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. I think as the body panels are all carbon, except for the doors are still aluminum and the roof is still steel for some reason. Like the engine bay is lined with carbon fiber, the intake plenum's carbon fiber, the interior is all carbon fiber.
But the roof was steel?
Yeah, probably for like
crash test? Yeah. There's no
also honestly, because so the frame of the GT is still, you know, aluminum. It's still a space frame.
Right.
So, you know, just no one had thought to do a carbon fiber roof as a load bearing thing yet. And probably, honestly, carbon fiber back then
would double the price of the car.
Well, no, I wouldn't even say that. I don't know how good it was. You know what I mean? Like, you know, carbon fiber is technically stronger than steel if you put it together right, you know. And this is not experimental, but like, yeah, who knows what they were up to. And I think I got to double check next time I see him. I'll see him next week at the Quail. But I think Pagani was, you know, he made his fortune making carbon fiber for you know, small projects
for others. Yeah.
And he was in the area with an autoclave making carbon fiber. So I bet Pagani did carbon for this.
And isn't that allegedly how, like, Alvin von Koenigsegg made money selling tech to others, you know, like licensing what he was able to do to other companies. I thought that was like the cylinder deactivation thing came from.
Could be. I mean, he's also, I think he's like Baron von Koenigsegg, so I think he's got some family money. Horatio is very self-made, but Yeah, it was just an absolutely killer car. Very racy, great sound. It's 567 horsepower to the rear wheels, 465 pound-feet of torque. Yeah, great car, easy to drive.
What's
Great steering, better than other Diablos. Actually, it's really, really good steering.
This is a question I love to ask people who have driven a lot of shit. What's your happy number? Like horsepower to weight, not ratio, but like
100 horsepower is about right.
What's that?
Oh, you're saying power to weight?
Yeah, 800 horsepower. Yeah, that's awesome. But like
1900 horsepower is what I like in the car.
Yeah.
I figured out. I drove the Pininfarina Battista.
Oh yeah,
and that's the correct amount of horsepower. That's
the correct amount of 5 of my house.
Well, yeah, it's not cheap, but like the Mistral's good. 1578 horsepower is good. 1900 better.
Yeah, yeah.
So
more. I mean, more is generally better. Yeah.
I'm excited about the Tourbillon, just because it's 1800. Getting there.
Crazy.
When the Tourbillon Super Sport comes out, it makes 2000. Now we're talking.
Man, what are you looking forward to at Quail's coming up, right? Car Week, all that stuff.
But today.
Are we looking at the double, like the 2,000 plus numbers? Come any of the like automotive releases at that point?
2,000 plus.
Are there going to be any 2,000 plus horsepower cars that?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I honestly don't know that. I know Lamborghini's going to show something of their few-off program, as they're now calling it. So, like,
is that PTS plus, like the family,
like the Centenario and the Cian, like the Countach. They're calling those, instead of one-off, it's a few-off, which they can work on a better name. Okay.
They don't need to work on a better name. They're making all the money and selling all the cars they need to sell.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think Lexus is showing something that's gonna
the car that ran up the hill.
Something different.
Really?
Yeah, I think the car that ran up the hill will not be a Lexus. And
a Toyota?
I don't think it'll be a Toyota.
A GR.
I think it's going to be a GR. And
I feel like you know something that you're not actually saying.
I feel like I do too. And I think Lexus is I got a phone call in about 4 hours where all will be clarified. But I think Lexus is showing something that is going to really anger people.
Oh boy. Well, because they haven't angered people enough recently with a twin turbo V6 on the 550. That doesn't piss people off enough.
What's a good way to anger people in 2025?
It depends where you stand politically.
Everybody, you're gonna anger everybody. Name a car that'll anger every single person. I think we'll see. We'll find out.
I will call you and promise to not say anything off the record after this podcast.
No, I'm not saying anything. I got a clarification call. You're not going to get any info out of me, man. Porsche showing some stuff, and it might be. I don't know actually what it's going to be. I have a feeling it could be like new race cars, but Porsche's got to show. So you assume they're going to do a successor to the 918.
Ferrari's done the F80.
Yeah, McLaren has the W1.
McLaren's got the W.
You'd think they would. So I don't know. Anything else? Yeah, I don't know. There's. I think Aston's showing something. The Pagani stand's going to be popping off. Pagani stand's going to be really cool. They're going to have all the track-only stuff there. So like Honda R's, Wire R's, the new Wire R Evo, whatever it's called. That'll be cool.
Lots of carbon.
Yeah.
Lots of carbon.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the Quail. Should be good. I hope it's nice and cool. I don't want a hot Quail. Hot Quails suck.
How hot does it actually get there?
It depends. Last year was nice, but it's been like, 1 year was mid-80s, which everyone dressed up walking around outside with no shade sucks. So I was looking at the weather. It is going to be kind of cool that Friday. That's the coldest day. So it'll be 66 degrees in Pebble Beach on Friday. Hopefully the Quail is like 75.
Oh my God.
So
We've had days of like 102 here in Connecticut, and I'm looking at going to like the Audrain Concourse in Newport.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at the Audrain.
Are you going to Audrain?
Yeah, I'm going to Audrain.
I feel like that's really like the come up of all the automotive events over the last, call it 5 years. That's been the one that has gone from like nobody knew about it to it has weight,
It's got some heat on it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to check it out. They've been asking me to go for a while, and it finally all came together this year. Actually, me and Zuckerman and Spike are heading out.
GR Corolla, what's the latest on the blue shit show?
Yeah, it's just really good. We actually, I was filming yesterday. I have the new 25 Corolla, and we were filming it kind of against my car, checking it out. And yeah, I still love my car. I actually. I will say, like, they did some real heavy lifting on the 25. I was pretty impressed. I still like my car better, and I like how much more power it makes and all that. But nothing new. I don't know if anyone cares. I have a GR Corolla that I've done some pretty extensive modifications on. I just need to get a dyno so I can actually say how much power it's making. But I'm thinking it's like in the 375 horsepower range.
For a 3-cylinder car,
that's pretty good.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot left on the table. Like, there's people doing, 600 to 800 horsepower builds on those blocks. I haven't opened up into the internals yet, but yeah, it's great. It's fun. It's like really a fun car.
Yeah.
Just a blast in the canyons. Compared to the 25, my suspension moves around a lot, but I kind of like that. It's kind of like a rally feel. Feels like an old STI. Where the 25 are really buttoned down. They've done a nice job on the suspension.
Buttoned down is in like compliant, or like it's stiff and.
It's hella stiff, and but it's like it's very good. It just doesn't move around in the corners at all. It's very, it just, it's got rebound springs, which it just means like another spring wrapped around the top of the actual springs. And so basically,
we call them dual rate in the off-road, like.
Yeah, they're dual rate. Is exactly right. Yeah, but so that plus stiffer anti-roll bar, stiffer springs overall. Plus there's a rear brace. And just the rear end compared to my car, it feels much more firm and planted. I will say that sadly, Toyota, in their infinite wisdom, they only have automatics in the press fleet.
What?
Yeah. I said, give me a manual. They said, we don't have any. I go, what? They go, yeah, we're trying to sell the automatics.
I mean, hey, yeah. You know as well as I do, as well as anybody else that does all this automotive media shit, that they're not out there for us. Like, the companies exist to sell cars, to make money, to earn profits. So, it's not about us,
Yeah, so that said, like, yeah, the automatic adds 70 pounds in, like, the worst place possible. So I would say, like, turn-in is not as sweet as the standard car. Not that my car's stock, but just turn-in kind of a little fussy. Transmission, it's fine. It's better than a Z Nismo, but it ain't a dual clutch. And like, hey, if Volkswagen can figure out a dual clutch for a $30,000 GTI, like, why can't Toyota? So
yeah, but Volkswagen can't figure out how to differentiate that $30,000 GTI's transmission from a $51,000 Golf R's transmission substantially.
Sure, but I'm just saying, like, the cars like this want dual clutches. They don't want automatics.
Yeah.
Or manual. And but again, like the high speed stability in the new 25 is very impressive. I don't think I want that. I think I drove them back to that. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
And I like how playful and like kind of boppy mine is. The 23s, 24s. So that's the one thing I didn't change at all was the suspension. But I get why you would want that, especially if you're going to track it. I think it would pay dividends on the track.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
and I think they're also I think they're also kind of trying to keep up with the Civic Type R, and this new gen Civic Type R is just stiff, it's just a very stiff thing. So I think they're like, I got to stiffen it up.
Yep.
But hey, they're letting sporty engineers do sporty stuff on cars, and I can't hate them for that. So
there's a lot of really good shit out there. Can't complain about it, about the landscape. So that said, I'm going to call it. I can see on the monitor my 4-month-old has decided that her arm is best eaten through two of the bars on her crib.
Ross, take care of your child.
Yeah. Johnny, thank you. I appreciate you. Let's connect about Audrain. And maybe next time we'll get Jeff on and he can tell us how fucked up most of his fleet is. So
yeah, I'd love that.
All right. So
cool.
Johnny, thank you. I'm going to hit stop in now.